We sit down to film this video, we search up Logan Paul, and the video's gone. The fact is, like, you're responsible for your team, you're responsible for your team's hiring, you need to pick good people that you can trust. Maybe you did trust them, but ultimately that chain leads back up to you.
He has to become the crypto coin Iron Man and start helping people and doing what's right even if it costs him money.
So today we came here to sit down and film a reaction on Logan Paul's response to the CoffeeZilla documentary that's been dropped. So today I did a little investigating, did a little pre-screening of the Logan Paul video. So at 4:12 p.m. I searched Logan Paul. First video that pops up is his response. I watch it. Later on, we sit down to film this video. We search up Logan Paul, and the video's gone. So I'm a little confused. I didn't know whether he had taken it down, what the problem was, so I looked at my YouTube history. Pull up my YouTube history, it shows I searched for Logan Paul. I click on the link just above that, and the video's been taken down. So what does this mean? Did the video get copyrighted striked by CoffeeZilla by having too much of his YouTube video in there? Did Logan Paul take the video down by himself because he realized it made him look bad? Did his team make him take it down because of legal ramifications? Repeatedly in the video, he talks about how he's going to take CoffeeZilla to court, which he doesn't have much standing on. Maybe from filming his manager Jeff during CoffeeZilla and Jeff's phone call would be the only thing that I can think of as far as legal action goes. So maybe it's for legal protection, who knows? So, as somebody who hasn't watched the content or followed the story quite as much, how do you feel about the video not being up, knowing nothing, just searching for it and not being able to find it, knowing that it was at one point posted?
I find it very peculiar and makes me skeptical of his ability to tell off CoffeeZilla when he thought he was in the right.
Do you think it was because he felt like the video didn't go as well as he thought it did? Do you think he didn't like the reaction that his fans gave? Or you think it was something uncontrollable by him? Do you think it was more so like his team or legal?
My thoughts, I'm probably going to side with whatever Moise said last time, because Coffee pointed out you did all of these illegal things. And Logan said, no, I have stuff to back it up to prove everyone wrong. And I would assume, since he took it down, if this is the case, that he just pointed out defense pleas, saying like, I'm not the guilty one, it's everyone else. I don't know anything besides what I've watched from all the other commentary YouTubers. That would be, he just thought that like, oh, I can say this and kind of prove that I had no real leading role in it, where it's like everyone else kind of took the reins and kind of made those decisions to where it never became a thing. So he kind of like escape on that instead of having some like raw hard evidence that we all wanted to see, you know, to prove like I actually didn't have a foot in this. It was actually created by everyone else. I never had a say. I never had the ability to say like, let's go ahead with the project or anything, you know, with him investing so much money in it and him losing what is like pennies to him, you know, everyone else suffered. I don't really know too much else.
Well, he likes to point out that himself and Jeff never sold the crypto, and that's his like his golden goose of it not being a scam, is that he lost money on it. That doesn't not make it a scam. You know, during CoffeeZilla's documentary, he shows these text message chats between everybody about how they're going to manipulate the market and how they're going to treat it like a game. That in itself shows that it was a scam. Whether he lost money, made money, doesn't really matter. The point is, it was built on him to make a bunch of money. The fact is, like, you're responsible for your team, you're responsible for your team's hiring, you need to pick good people that you can trust. Maybe you did trust them, but ultimately that chain leads back up to you. Ultimately, it's your fault.
So he has to become the crypto coin Iron Man and start helping people and doing what's right, even if it costs him money, so that he can clear his name and stop like selling false hope.
It's finally here. A response more hyped up than the Avatar sequel. Logan Paul is addressing the massive 3-part investigation conducted by CoffeeZilla, exposing cryptozoo as a potential scam. Logan Paul was not too happy about that nomenclature, so he made a video pretty much doubling down on everything about cryptozoo never being a scam, while admitting to hiring criminals for the team and trying to poke holes in CoffeeZilla's credibility, but without ever providing evidence for why CoffeeZilla's no longer credible. It's not the best response, but it was enough to win over a lot of people's trust somehow, even though Logan Paul never actually addresses any of Coffee's claims with the evidence Coffee provides. Instead, he fixates on a couple of small things, none of which actually contribute to disproving anything from CoffeeZilla's video series or his year-long investigation, and instead just kind of serves to assassinate CoffeeZilla's character, and then throws the condom on the floor and says he's taken CoffeeZilla to court. I'll see you in court, bub. He makes it clear that he will be pursuing legal action against Coffee for this investigation, so overall, very curious to see how this all plays out from here. I'm going to show you his response video as well as me going over it, because like I said, he never actually addresses any of the evidence-backed claims that CoffeeZilla provides from his investigation. He doesn't do anything to prove his innocence. All he does is talk about cryptozoo's coming. I'll make sure of it. What's he gonna give us? Well, so far it looks like he's given us just barely enough nutrients to survive. Like, I'm still hungry. CoffeeZilla released a 3-part series on an investigation that spanned the course of a year. Logan Paul gave us a 7-minute appetizer that he's trying to serve us as the entree. Like, come on, there's no meat on these bones here. Let's ride.
CoffeeZilla. I watched your 3-part series called Investigating Logan Paul's Biggest Scam, and like many on this platform, you have successfully used my name for views and money. While you're
I immediately already hate that start. CoffeeZilla's entire brand is all about exposing scams in the space. You yourself commended him for his work ethic and his, like, actual great content. And you have immediately wiped your ass with that phony stuff.
So during Logan Paul's podcast, he actually talks about how CoffeeZilla is somebody who is smart, who has made great documentaries, exposed so many people, yada yada. But when it came to the Logan Paul video, this is when, you know, things took a twist for CoffeeZilla and he started reporting infactual things.
That's the thing that's weird, is that he's probably suing him for defamation, which means that he's like CoffeeZilla's producing something that's tarnishing his name and causing him problems making money, or costing him money, something that's like a lie. And now if he's going to be doing the same thing, then I feel like he could probably do the same thing back to Logan Paul. Or if you're just saying, like, you know, I found these things that are facts, I produced them, made a video, none of it was false, none of it was opinion based. And now if he's coming in and he's just going to come in and say, like, no, you did garbage and I hate you and I'm innocent and you suck, then it could be, like, countered.
Statement. What an awful start. We are 7 seconds into this and it's already a terrible start. You've already exposed yourself for one lie already. You called yourself a fan and how Steven always gets it right. Until now. And now all of a sudden it's all about views because of your name. Yucky.
for views and money. While your work used to be impartial, your addiction to clicks has clouded your judgment and you've made very real errors with very real repercussions. Coffee.
I'm sorry. Coming from a guy who has 23 million views.
Well, he's stating that CoffeeZilla is, you know, doing it for clicks and views and money. Logan Paul, your entire career is based on views and clicks and money.
Yeah.
You're a content creator.
I mean, it's like calling the kettle black, but it's like the kettle's not a kettle. It's like a magnifying glass.
You took a
Like
shot
what?
at my reputation. So in this video today, I'm going to be defending myself with facts, something that you have gotten in the habit of twisting as you continue to morph from an investigator to a gossip channel. You see,
Interesting. Because he gets like the whole story even from the people he's exposing. He directly talked to like Amio Talio for Paradox Metaverse and stuff. I am curious which ones he's referring to. That's a bold statement. Do you have anything to back that up, Logan? Is that in here somewhere? Spoiler alert, no. This is just a plot thread with no closure here. He says that he's been making very real errors as he's morphed into more of a gossip channel, yet provides nothing to substantiate that claim. No evidence. He just says, he's getting things wrong now. Source? I made it the fuck up. Trust me, bro. That's the source. Like, that is laughable. You can't state that, you can't make that claim and have nothing to back it up. Besides this situation, which you're claiming is wrong, what else? You're saying that now, as he's gotten more popular, he's no longer impartial, he's more of a gossip channel that's completely fine with getting facts wrong. Can you show me something that proves that statement from you? You didn't. Do you have anything, or are you just pulling it out of your asshole?
You see, CoffeeZilla tried to work with law enforcement in the past, but his work was described as not anchored to truth and often speculative. He is a lopsided journalist with an agenda, and he's nothing more than the Keemstar of crypto and finance. But as opposed to just telling you, I'm going to show you some of the core discrepancies that I caught.
Oh, that's such a big claim. Whoa, the legendary double fist into the butthole of wild claims with no evidence, huh, Logan? A bold maneuver. Now he says that he tried to work with law enforcement but was often deemed not anchored in truth or the work was speculative. Do you have anything to back that up anywhere? You making that statement piqued my interest, and I feel like I did more investigative work on me just being curious than you did for your whole response video, because I reached out to CoffeeZilla and talked about some of the claims here. And CoffeeZilla was as confused as everyone else when you talked about this one, about wanting to work with law enforcement. According to CoffeeZilla, he's never wanted to work with law enforcement, never has tried to, and in fact the only time he's ever had any communication with law enforcement is when they approached him to hand over some of his evidence on a case. So I don't know where the fuck this is coming from.
Paul was just trying to have something to stand on because he doesn't actually point out like real evidence or facts about anything. He just makes statements this entire response video.
Hello 911? Yeah, one of the YouTubers that I like to watch, he made like a fake coin. Can we do something about that? I mean, unless he's like searching out for like a private eye or something like that, but that's a different division.
Yeah, I don't know.
To Switzerland and held it hostage for $1 million. Well, his name is Zach Kelling. Surely, as the internet detective that you proclaim to be, you would know that he spent time in prison for multiple felonies, one for aggravated robbery, armed robbery at a liquor store, and the other for
sounds like a good member of the cryptozoo
obstructing
team.
the legal process. I can see why you kept him anonymous.
Who we'll be calling Z here.
I guess among many things, had not only an agenda, but a fondness for orange jumpsuits.
Why is he on your team? In fact, him omitting that detail makes you look a little more competent. Now that I know you hired a fucking criminal to work on the project, I have even less faith in you to make good choices. This doesn't discredit anything. At all, actually. This just makes you look worse.
Or did you just hear what you wanted to hear and moved on? Because even if you're lying to yourself, Steven, you still have to believe it. And I know what you're thinking. What type of idiot would work with an unsavory individual?
That is what I was thinking.
Kelly? I guess that's what I get for trusting the team that I relied on to vet and manage Eddie's hiring process, who has turned out to be a professional con man that I have since learned fooled billionaires, the Mormon Church, the owner of the New York Yankees, and...
Hey, who'd you learn that from, Logan? Which source did you learn that information from? Surely it wasn't Steven, since you're talking about how untruthful and how often speculative and wrong it is, so surely you didn't learn that.
Well, that's another thing. He's pointing out all these different things, but he's getting all this information from CoffeeZilla's video, who he says is lying about the...
Well, what he's doing is basically saying like, yeah, all these people that you pointed out are bad guys. What does that have to do with me? I had no idea, and only found out after you did your research.
It just makes you look stupid.
Yeah. Sucks to be you, huh?
That information from Steven, right, Logan?
invest in a cryptocurrency, was allegedly responsible for 2 rug pulls before you interviewed him. So either you missed that or you knew it and failed to let the public know. Why? Because it was a clear sign that he was all...
Okay, so he's shitting on CoffeeZilla because he didn't do enough research into the team that Logan hired. It's like, my team
This
effed
guy-
up more than you know.
This guy that he's pointing out is one of the people that CoffeeZilla interviewed about how much he lost on cryptozoo.
Oh, so he's basically, because you're a criminal, you can't have a second chance in life and try to make money. So it's like anyone that has ever screwed up and then tried to, do something else and make money, that doesn't make him invalid, like, because he went to prison for something doesn't...
No, he specifically was a crypto scammer himself. That's what he's pointing out. He was not, yes, he's a criminal, but he had committed, like, crypto-related, like,
So this was
criminal things.
just someone that was on Logan's team, or is this someone...
No. CoffeeZilla does these interviews,
Right, no, I
talking
get...
to these people who lost money on cryptozoo.
So that's all that guy
This
is.
guy lost money on cryptozoo, or claims to have, but his background shows that he himself is a crypto scammer. This is the one point at which Logan Paul...
So this is how he would gain money, though. Like, I'm not going to defend him for being a crypto scammer, but you kind of need the crypto to take off to get any kind of, gain from it. If it just falls, then I'd be like, oh, dude, you screwed me. It's like a bad guy trying to make money off another bad guy, but the other bad guy screwed over the first bad guy.
I mean, pretty much. It's not that he... I mean, we don't know whether he lost money or not. There's no way to validate that. But as far as, like, a source goes to, like, get information about losing money from cryptozoo, I can agree with Logan on this one point, that this is not a good representation of somebody to be interviewing about losing money, since he is not... It doesn't seem to be a reliable source.
So I would say that Logan Paul so far, and to make it easier for me to understand, is like the leader of the Legion of Doom, and his whole goon squad and everyone included, or all the villains included. And it's like CoffeeZilla is like Batman doing his detective work, trying to figure out. And it's like the leader of the Legion of Doom's like, he's a bad guy. You can't trust anything he says. He's on my team. And all these people on my team. So yeah, I win.
Pretty much.
That's how I try to simplify it.
Also untrustworthy. You seemed 1 second of research would prove that to be false, as you can definitely hatch eggs and even breed your animals.
Click on that. Oh, we got a duck.
So when I watched CoffeeZilla's documentary, what I felt like he was portraying is that you could never hatch these eggs. You couldn't get the pictures out of them.
Well, the game never came to be.
Agreed.
Like, it was never accessible to the public.
Well, so you could buy the eggs and you could hatch them.
Could you even go that far?
Yes.
Because what I remember watching was like you could buy the eggs, but you couldn't do anything with them.
Well, apparently you could hatch them. What I thought is that you couldn't hatch them at all. At
Right.
least from watching CoffeeZilla's video, I didn't think you could hatch them. So he
Right.
points out that you could actually hatch them. So that's one thing that I didn't know that I realized watching this.
And as you pointed out in your fine print, cross-hatching was available on ETH at one point, but you perpetuated the opposite as truth with your chest out.
Basically, nothing worked.
And by the way, Guy, almost all NFTs are just pictures.
No, it's just a picture.
And Shirley is...
So the project sucks. So it's nothing new like you proposed. It is just, again, JPEG on JPEG, and that's it. It's not a game. You're right, NFTs are all worthless pictures, but you were proposing a game. In fact, your friend was like, oh, you're not even talking about this like a project. This is like a game. And your exact words was, it's a game. It's a really, really fun game. But now you're just here saying, it's just pictures. Which is the point everyone was making. It's not a game. It's more just NFT JPEGs that are just stock images.
This kind of reminds me of like when you ever see like those Pokemon combos where they'll take a Pokemon and another Pokemon and it'll create another Pokemon with a new name,
Yeah,
except lamer with real live animals.
that's pretty much what he was trying to do.
You're contradicting your own sales pitch. So I don't know about this guy. This guy could very well be super untrustworthy. I'll take Logan's word for it here. These were interviews with alleged victims of the rug pull. Now, even if this guy, and I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt here, even if this guy is a very shady character, he could have still been scammed. It's not mutually exclusive, because he's not the only one. So among the thousands upon thousands of people you scammed, one of them happens to be a douchebag scammer as well. That doesn't discredit the whole point, though. There was like 12 other people he interviewed as well, but even the non-interviewed people, there were tons of victims. Coffee used him as a spokesperson. No, he had like 12 other people there, and he just had his testimonial as part of it.
Right? So why have you allowed the illegal recording of Jeff's phone call without his permission? And then more like an internet criminal, post it online.
And it was interesting. It was like,
Crypto King Jake stole $6 million. True or not, we had already removed him from the team when we realized Conman Eddie, lead developer, stole $1.7 million. True or not, when we learned he was a bad actor as well, while myself and Jeff sold nothing and made nothing as verified through investigation and the blockchain.
Jeff, Logan's manager, to my knowledge, never sold. Neither.
So his defense is because he made nothing, made no money, he's not liable for any kind of charge.
Basically.
That's his defense, is because he didn't make any money. Okay.
Did Logan Paul?
I repeat, and illegal. I suggest you use the money you got from pumping your Patreon to hire a good lawyer. You're gonna need it. And maybe we could have.
Oh, he's throwing it down. I guess to piggyback off that, why didn't you update the community on the project? Why didn't you talk to the community that brought all of this to light, who felt scammed for the last year and has lost tons and tons and tons of money on it? Why have you only ever sent 3 Discord messages, one of them right before posting this video? This is very easy to continue going back and forth with the finger pointing. If it's not a scam and you really are working on it, why the complete radio silence with your community? And even if he was, you can still say, hey, we're going through legal trouble, but we're still working on the game. We're not a scam. We're working on it. And what about the handmade asset, or the handmade art, which was proven to be stock photos? Is he going to address that? This is just too short to address all of the actual evidence that CoffeeZilla submitted.
Talked about this. If you had reached out to me personally, not my manager Jeff, who is not me, Steven, but the first time you did was on Christmas Eve after you released your series, so you could rely on false statements and unreliable people used recklessly. That's fine. You've denied my invitation multiple times. You're still invited. It can be a one-on-one. If not, we're going to handle this ourselves while we continue to build CryptoZoo, and I'll see you in court.
Amen. Damn, that was big. 7 minutes of fury, but not a whole lot of evidence on...
So he posts a 7-minute video and he ends it with a little CryptoZoo coming in 2023/2024, little egg cracking open
thing. He
thing.
needs to stop before he gets in trouble for a third time, because it doesn't even matter at this point.
Yeah, I mean...
It's like filling up a cup with water that has a giant hole in the bottom. You're never gonna...
It's not going to fix the wrongdoing that you've done at this point.
You get 2, and you get 2 chances. I feel like he squandered both of them. Should have learned from the first time, and screwing over people with the crypto coin. He wants to keep going to prove his innocence, because that's the only way he's going to be able to do it, is if he follows through with it. If there was radio silence on it for a year until CoffeeZilla came in and was like, hey, I did this huge documentary and found out all these holes in what he's trying to do. That doesn't feel trustworthy to me.
No.
I'm not gonna follow through with that.
It doesn't. Yeah, you can't go a year with a failed project, not let the investors know what's going on with it, and then all of a sudden the truth comes to light and you're all butthurt about it because you've been exposed.
And he's just I feel like that's gonna be his only defense, though, is if he continues with it and makes it real, so that he doesn't have all these people to be oh, he, screwed me over, we had the promise, and we had this game that's going to come to light, but we're still working on it, so it's not a scam. He wasn't ever going to touch it again, I believe. There was no talk of it ever going to come up again until this, so now he has to do it so that he can cover his butt.
Yeah, basically, he's going to finish the project only because he has to at this point.
I would like to know how it's gonna end up in court. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna say CoffeeZilla hasn't done anything. If there was an illegal recording, if Jeff had no idea he's been recording, that is kind of a problem.
So apparently in Texas, you can record people's phone calls, which that's where CoffeeZilla lives. But does that transfer over state lines coming from calls from anywhere? How does that work? I'm not sure. Maybe on a federal level that would be different.
Oh no, Texas is pretty big. It's 2.5 times the United States size. So I would assume that Texas has the stronghold over most of America. So if if it's gonna be like state court, or I don't really know how it works, but
Yeah, I'm not sure how it's going to pan out, but
they do go to Texas. CoffeeZilla will definitely have the upper hand in my.
the big thing to remember here is that apparently Logan Paul has deleted his response video.
Mm.
And I think that has something to show for it. He obviously, or his team obviously, thought that it either didn't meet standards, something came out wrong, he said something wrong, they overlooked something, and
I don't think he said anything wrong. He basically said whatever CoffeeZilla said was an opinion after saying that he's done great research, and then pulled out some stuff that just wasn't true. Just saying like, oh, he's worked with law enforcement to try and take me down, and they won't work with him because he's discredited.
If you're going to bring something like that up, show a transcript of you talking to the police, or show where you got this information from. Don't just say something.
Well, I think that's probably part of the reason why he took it down, because what he was saying was he was just pulling out stuff instead of doing actual factual information that he couldn't back up with physical evidence. So he had to take it down, especially if he was going to say oh, I'll see you in court, which I don't think would look good on his defense thing, just automatically saying I'm going to sue you because you said all these things that you talked with people without my permission, or you wanted to talk after you posted this. You can say whatever you want as long as it's not directly causing Logan to tarnish his name out of I don't like Logan, so I'm going to go spend 3 hours of a video crapping on him and saying things that are facts that I don't have room to say are facts.
Well, yeah, it has to be proven that it's a lie for it to be defamation.
I would say if CoffeeZilla has done his research, obviously he has. I'd say everything that he's posted, minor things here and there, but I don't know where he's going to get off seeing him in court for what. What has he done? And I hope people don't put money into this egg thing. I think it's only going to last so long because he's only doing it so he can have a better chance in court, probably.
I mean, I almost was one of those people. I almost bought it when it first came out. I could be even more upset right now at Logan Paul.
Well, if he follows through with it and people buy into it, you might be okay, but it would be for a very short time, and you have to realize, it's going to hurt more people than help.
Yeah.
So, but his defense is basically, I didn't make money off of this scam, so it's not a scam, and I shouldn't be held liable because the people that are the other bad guys included in this got caught and are, paying the price.
Specific claims, just more broader things. So you hired 2 criminals because you didn't do any amount of background research. Why is there faith in cryptozoo? Why should there be going forward?
If he had pulled out some papers or some kind of contract stating certain things if this falls through or these people don't follow through with their part, I hereby am no longer liable and have no longer my name attached to this project. You could say that. But his defense is basically, because I made no money, I'm innocent. And it's not how it works. I'm not a lawyer. I've taken 2 law classes. If I want to see the contracts that were made, I want to see everything that was written up by Logan Paul and the team that was included to see how innocent he is. But if it's his idea and he brought it to light for other people to dive into, then he should be held liable. If it's part of his creation. Now that he's put it on his YouTube channel, I mean, granted it was deleted, but he put it a part of his YouTube. He put his name on it. He put it on his video on the end, saying like, "Oh, it's coming." That hurt. That would hurt him, attaching himself more to this project, especially if it's just disappeared for a long time till someone squeaked in, and now it's going to be disappear again. I mean, I'm wondering if it's on the end of his latest video, like if he kept the egg thing at the end, or if he put that on his latest video.
No, he didn't.
So now he's going to distance himself, and I guarantee you, it was pulled. Now he's not going to continue with this, and I guarantee you, that's not going to follow through to court. He's not going to take him to court. There's nothing that's going to happen because he doesn't have a good enough reason that a courthouse would take him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so either, but I guess we'll see. It's been tea time with the boys.
We should have had some teacups.